Hey Jake, this is Keaton Everett with ABC going over your pitching video. We're going to go through and break it down in a few key spots. We're going to look at how you're setting up, how your lower half, how you're using your hips, what you're looking at foot strike when that front foot first touches the ground, and then how we're finishing through our release. Alright, so overall you're pretty solid. Alright, everything's working pretty good. It's just a matter of, for you, is really just a matter of utilizing that lower half a little bit more and get yourself down the hill a little bit longer to really kind of use that lower half. It's a big strength issue at your age, and it's something that it's a complex move. It's pretty hard, but if you kind of address it now, as you get older, as you get stronger, it's going to be something that really comes on a lot quicker, and it's going to benefit you a lot more. So first off, what we do is we're going to start off looking about how we set up. Alright, so we're going to mark your back head and just kind of watch what it does through your delivery. Okay, so you can kind of see it go backwards just a touch. Alright, we just want to make sure that we're starting with the head back here. Alright, so when you're coming set up, and we're talking an inch or two, so all we need to do is, I don't know where your weight ratio is, but we should try to load up this back leg maybe a little bit more, probably 80%, 20%, 20% front foot. So you're kind of shifted already back. Your hips are kind of shifted back over that back foot instead of, kind of maybe 50-50 and then going back. We just don't want any movement backwards and then forwards. Alright, we just want to stay loaded up back, so we're up just like a spring, coiled up, ready to get going forward. Okay, so that's just one little tweak. Alright, and also make sure that your front foot should be kind of closed compared to that back foot, and all that does is that just helps us get our leg in a better position. You get your leg in a good position back here, but what it does is just makes it a little bit quicker for us. Alright, it's just a little easier to time. Alright, and you can see here you're kind of starting to go forward as that front foot's coming, down. Alright, which is good. So you're getting your lower half in a good position. You're getting your knee up far, nice and back. Alright, it's over that back leg. Alright, so everything's looking good. It's just a matter of just that initial little setup to kind of help clean you up. I mean, pitching's about timing. It's about consistency. So we just got to try to recreate our same mechanics every time. That's just going to help you out a little bit. Alright. Another thing too is get in the habit of, once this front foot comes up off the ground, your eyes are locked on that target. Alright, this was the problem I had when I was younger. I'd kind of look at the ground, pick up the target late. And it wasn't until later on in my career that I really understood the importance of keeping those eyes on that target as long as you can. So you don't pick up the target again until right here. So all we want to do is just change that. Once you can look wherever you want. Once that front foot comes up off the ground, you're locked in on that catcher. Alright. So next thing we're going to look at is how your hips are working. Are your hips leading down the hill? Yes, your hips are doing a good job. We want this guy to lead down the hill. We don't want this knee or this foot to lead, so you're doing a good job there. Alright, so everything's looking good. You're driving down. Alright, you're swinging your arms out. Alright, one of the things, okay, we're just gonna focus on lower half right now. Alright, one of the things that you're doing is you're kind of cutting yourself off. You're landing short. Alright, I want to see if we go to foot strike. So right when that foot touches the ground is about right here. Alright, you can probably get out another foot length or so. You just want to drive so quick and so hard down that mound that your legs are going to get out a little bit farther. Alright, we just don't want to cut off that lower half at all. Alright, so that's just something to kind of work on. Don't think about reaching out with that left foot. Just think about keeping your hips closed longer and farther down the hill, and wherever that foot lands, that's going to be fine. If it's there, then that's fine. So, alright, so now right at foot strike, alright, you are pretty good at keeping your back shoulder closed. Alright, you're not popping open too far. This glove I'd like to see still below your elbow. Alright, you're just kind of rotating it over a little bit early. So just kind of keep that closed a little bit longer. That's just going to help yourself create a little more torque. But other than that, it's a pretty solid foundation there, okay? So now we're going to go back and watch arm path. You know, are you getting yourself in a good position to stay healthy, to deliver the ball? And one other thing that you need to work on a little bit is to get rid of this straight elbow, this locked elbow. All right, you just want to kind of always keep a little, you know, we don't ever want to be completely locked out. It's just not an athletic spot. It's not very powerful. You know, you kind of keep it locked, and then this elbow gets really high above that shoulder, which puts some strain on the shoulder caps, all right. But you do kind of cock it back down here. This is a good position right here, but just the fact that you're keeping your elbow locked and it's getting above your shoulder is cause for concern down the road of some possible injury flare-ups. All right, so that's just something that right here, you know, we generally don't ever want that elbow to get above that shoulder line. All right, so that's just something to just kind of think about. You know, get in front of a mirror, just kind of watch your arm work. Just kind of get away from that straight arm. All right. Your front glove's doing pretty good. It's staying out there. It's getting out front. All right. So now it's just a matter of at this foot strike position. All right, is getting kind of farther back over this back hip a little bit more. All right, you're kind of rotating a little bit forward. You can kind of see if we're from the front. You're probably leaning a little bit towards that first baseline, and just kind of keeping everything on line and driving everything out a little bit farther over that front foot. All right, and you're going to see here through release, this back foot's off the ground, and this back leg's kind of crumpling through, so you're just not using everything to your advantage. You're not using that legs. All right, you want to try to drive all the way through that back foot. So now you're going to look at something like this in this position here. All right, that back foot's still on the ground, and now your back and your head are farther out over that front foot. We want to try to release the ball with our chest and our head either in front of our knee or in front of our foot. All right, and that's just a function of not getting down the hill far enough and just using that lower half a little bit more, staying through that back leg a little bit longer. So now you're releasing the ball, and that's going to pick you up, you know, maybe almost another foot or two, not a foot or two, but you know, maybe about 6 to 8 inches of release, just because you're able to drive that chest down a little bit farther. You know, we just want to see this chest. Take this and just move it forward a little bit, and we want to see that back foot on the ground. All right, so just kind of work on, you know, and you can see you can kind of crumple up in this position. We don't want to ever see this back leg at this position here. We want to see it, you know, a little bit less of an angle, and then once you release, then that leg just kicks up over that back side and just kind of follows through a little bit more. So just use more of your legs, you know, longer through your delivery. All right, so that's a simple fix. All right, so just kind of work on arm path, keeping that arm a little bit more bent through your delivery, keeping that elbow, not letting that elbow get too high above your shoulder, and then just using more hips longer down the hill. Just keep them closed longer and drive farther down the hill and get that chest and that head out over that front foot, and that's going to be a good improvement for you. So hopefully you had a great time at camp. We look forward to seeing you again with ABC, and hope you're having a great season so far this year.